raised the controller aloft, and shattered it against his forehead. Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/TalesofNeckbeards, but actually it comes from my personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads, yes indeed, with the Guitar Beard saga now closed, most of our sagas closed, I do believe, at least the Neckbeard sagas. We still have Stealth Beard and Unfortunate Nookie hanging around for the Legbeard sagas, but we are now ready, officially, for some new Neckbeards to make their appearance on the channel, and I am super hyped. Our very own patron, Captain Clown Show, has a Neckbeard story that he would like to share with us, and it is the story of HULKBEARD, which I doubt he's super muscular or anything like that. Maybe he's just full of rage, as most Neckbeards are, but that's all speculation as usual. I haven't vetted the story too much. We'll just have to dive in and figure what it's all about together, as we do. So let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this Neckbeard stories cringe. The Unfortunate Saga of HULKBEARD, Chapter 1, The First Tantrum. Well, probably the first tantrum that OP was privy to, but I guarantee when he was a little baby beard, never mind. I've written about this before on a live journal community and also on r/Neckbeard stories under a different account name. This time around, though, I want to take a deeper dive into my friendship with HULKBEARD. Yes, saga me, baby. Saga it to me. How it first developed, what it looked like outside of D&D, and how my own toxic behaviors probably contributed to this vicious cycle of beardery and manipulation. Oh, I like that already. OP taking some of the credit for what happened. That's right, it takes two to tango. So join me, friends of ReddX, as I take you back to the before times. All the way back to the far-flung year of 2007. My God, I remember it well. I was in the Navy, in Japan, drinking beers. Maybe I don't remember it so well, after all. The cast of characters. We got Captain Clown Show, your humble narrator, a directionless, emotionally underdeveloped 19-year-old English major with the social acumen of a pine cone. Still hasn't quite figured out why the hell he's here. HULKBEARD is our beard in question. Manipulative, quick to anger, as I would expect, with a tendency to creep on every single person that I was ever romantically involved with. Ugh. Somehow I still remain friends with him for 4 years. Oh, we gonna get some beardy backstabbings, I'll tell you that. I am not a clever man. Well, maybe not them, but you know, you learned. We all learn, we all grow. That's how this works. Now, more than ever, my university days feel like they took place in an entirely different world. Smartphones had not yet begun their meteoric rise to popularity. People still used Internet Explorer. World of Warcraft was still a decent game. I love that, bringing the heat to modern day WoW. I still played the Burning Crusade expansion, but anything past that, nah, I ain't gonna touch it. Maybe Wrath of the Lich King, but I jump off after that point. I was a fresh-faced, profoundly confused 19-year-old entering my second year of university. I had already tried, and failed spectacularly, to make friends the year prior, and perhaps that's what blinded me to HULKBEARD's fedora for so long. Oh, that fedora. Shouts out to Moonhorse for coining that one. It's kind of like the beard on the inside that counts. Speaking of which, Teespring, hey, check out that plug, hooray! We kind of went a long way around to get that plug, but I think it's worth it. Or, yeah, maybe OP was just an awful judge of character. His words, not mine. I first met the not-so-incredible Hulk at the campus video game club. Yep, that's a breeding ground for beards. He was standing at just under 6 feet tall, He was a loud, hefty young man, sporting a buzz cut, a pair of thick-rimmed square glasses, and a wardrobe that consisted almost entirely of cargo shorts and striped polo t-shirts. Around him hung the faint, telltale funk of one for whom showers were just merely a suggestion rather than a necessity. I mean, striped polo t-shirts can look pretty good. I'm also into cargo shorts. At least he's not wearing like an Ahegao hoodie or something like that. He's almost normal, except for the whole not showering bit. Aside from the smell, HULKBEARD seemed almost normal. Wow, that's what I just said. We hung out at the university, played a few rounds of Super Smash Brothers, and after the meeting wrapped up, I let slip that I only lived a short walk from campus. HULKBEARD then suggested that we head back there to continue gaming, which we did, well into the wee hours of the night. Yeah, OP desperate for a friend. He doesn't look like a beard. Let him into your house. But bro, they're like vampires. Now he's never gonna leave. From there, we did become fast friends. When we weren't in class, we were basically inseparable. And here, dear readers, is where my profound lack of social awareness first rears its ugly head. People did not like HULKBEARD. They tolerated him, certainly, but I was blissfully unaware of the fact that I was one of his only friends, so it never really occurred to me to question why that might be. It was a few weeks after we met that I first realized that something might not be entirely right with HULKBEARD. One fateful Wednesday evening, we were at the video game club. A PlayStation 3 was set up, and HULKBEARD had brought his own controller. Apparently, he forgot to charge it prior to the meeting, and it died on him in the middle of a game. He went uncharacteristically silent, staring down at the dead device for several seconds. His jaw clenched. The veins in his neck bulged. His left eye twitched almost imperceptibly. HULKBEARD? I began. Are you... With the fury of 1,000 discarded fedoras, he uttered his animalistic howl, raised the controller aloft, and shattered it against his forehead. How, dude? Jesus Christ. This is what heavy brow ridges were made for. This fucking Neanderthal. All because of a controller that he forgot to charge. It's not like the thing was broken. He just forgot to charge it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's definitely got some anger issues. Not the first beard we've seen, but definitely the most over the top. Shattering it against his forehead. Wow. I'm shocked. And then without another word, he cast the broken remnants of his controller aside and stormed out of the room. I didn't hear from him until the following evening. This would not be the last time that I would bear witness to his beardly fury. On the contrary, over the course of our friendship, incidents like this became increasingly common. As mentioned earlier, HULKBEARD's temper was far from his only red flag. His chivalry was nearly overpowering, especially around my romantic partners. He's just too euphoric, OP. He can't contain it. He was also a young man who had clearly never heard the word no. And when he wanted something, woe betide anyone who would try and stop him. Increasingly, as we played Dungeons & Dragons, I was the one standing feebly in his way, but that's a story for a little later. For now, I leave you all with a promise. This short introduction is just the tip of the Cheeto-stained iceberg. The next chapter will be a great deal weightier, with plenty of euphoria to go around. And so begins another Neckbeard saga with a bang, might I add. I was waiting around for this one. This first story got posted, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little short to read on the channel. Then Captain Clown Show asked me about it. I'm like, add a little more. I'll do it. I just need it to be a little bit beefier so I don't have to pair it with another story. Because it's weird to, like, you know, start off a couple of sagas in the same story. I used to do it quite a lot, but people have made it pretty clear to me that self-contained stories are better. This is a video about one particular beard. And if all I did was this, then the video would be like 12 minutes long, and that ain't no good. So we're going to jump into the second part, which, as promised, is a lot beefier. About 3 times bigger than this part, so let's jump into it. HULKBEARD, Chapter 2, For Want of a Milady. Here we go. The incredibly short first chapter can be found here in this video. Hello again, reformed neckbeards, beard enthusiasts, and assorted internet weirdos. Today we're going to delve a little deeper into the chivalrous side of HULKBEARD'S euphoria, but we're also going to examine my own faults, and yeah, they are many. I love that self-awareness, OP. God bless ya. I've got some faults myself, but they're a lot harder to see, you know? I certainly wouldn't be capable of listing them out in a Reddit post. The truth is, I can hardly think of how I acted back then without cringing and wanting to reach for a very, very stiff drink and make it a double. The unfortunate cast, Captain Clown Show, my past self, still 19 years old, still a socially inept dipshit, still incredibly immature and insecure. Don't worry, I got better, it just took nearly a decade. Feel that. HULKBEARD, the beard. Cargo shorts, thick rim glasses, polo shirts, and a fed aura powerful enough to intimidate even the most euphoric individuals. Somehow even more inept with women than I was, and that is saying something. Oh, come on, give yourself some credit. At least you got some ladies, you know? What's HULKBEARD got? Just an anime body pillow that's disturbingly yellow. Erika, a friend with benefits I met at a party. She wanted a relationship. I did not. 3 guesses how that ended. Aw, Erika. You can cut out aw, Erika. I'm not going to go into that story. Maybe another time. So yeah, 3 guesses how that ended. Not well is my guess. Faye, a girl I briefly dated a few months after meeting HULKBEARD, much to his chagrin. Purple hair, tattoos, punk aesthetic, loved all things Joan Vasquez. Stereotypical manic pixie dream girl, I'm gonna call that right now, see how it pans out. And Cara, a nerdy young woman with an interest in horses, gaming, and tabletop RPGs. Introduced by a mutual friend. That friendship didn't last long, however. Alright, generic horse girl, got it. One of the most startling realizations I made in university was that I'm relatively easy on the eyes. People actually saw me as a potential partner. Gasp. I kind of had the same thing happen to me in high school, but I grew up as like a fat kid. Then when I got tall and all the fat kind of evened out, I still believed in my head that I was a fat kid. So when chicks wanted to date me, I'd be like, what's your ulterior motive? Yeah, I guess it is a shock. Having spent my entire life up to this point convinced that I resembled the offspring of a used mop and a bunion, you can imagine how well I dealt with this revelation. Again, not well. But I totally been there. Though I had sort of a bumbling, awkward charm, I was also a walking cluster of red flags. I wasn't physically violent, verbally abusive, or actively malicious, mind you, but I was still a complete and utter train wreck of a human being. Now you gotta impress me. We've seen some train wrecks on this channel. I fully believe that you are merely a fender bender of a human being at this point, OP. Don't be too hard on yourself. I was controlling, insecure, and emotionally volatile. My studio apartment was effectively a neckbeard nest, a cluttered mess of clothes, unwashed dishes, and gaming paraphernalia. It's honestly a wonder that anyone tolerated me for more than a week. As I have said many times before, nobody really takes an interest in neckbeard and neckbeard studies unless they have crossed that bridge before, so suffice to say, OP, that you are in good company on that fact. HULKBEARD, for his part, reveled in all of this. The mess that surrounded me seemed to almost energize him compared to his mother's spotless home. I recalled one instance involving a burger that I dropped on the floor and then inadvertently stepped on. Upon noticing this morsel, HULKBEARD had but a single question. "Hey, OP," he drooled, eyes glinting with unrestrained desire. "Are you gonna eat that?" Bro, OP stepped on it. If it fell on the floor, I'd give it a pass, but with your dirty shoe that's been walking around all the town picking up God knows what, people spit and shit, forget it. No! Ugh! HULKBEARD is such a foul creature. I personally had never developed a taste for floor burgers, so I told him to have at it. His love of filth aside, HULKBEARD also had a knack for pulling me down into a crab bucket of self-loathing, self-pity, and stagnation. Whenever a breakup occurred, he would insist that none of it was your fault, OP. At the same time, he also managed to make me feel terrible for being stupid enough to put in an effort to begin with. Yeah, why not just wallow in your self-pity, right? You can't fail if you don't try, right? God, I hate it. Neckbeard mindset. I'm so glad you were able to overcome eventually, OP. Maybe it was because I was emotionally vulnerable, or maybe it was because he simply told me what I thought I wanted to hear. Either way, I listened to him. Instead of choosing introspection and personal growth, I truly let myself believe that I was the victim. And that, dear readers, is entirely on me. I should have known better. Hindsight's 20/20, bro. Don't kick yourself too hard. Basically, I'm saying that if and when they invent time travel, the first thing I'm doing is kicking my past self in the nuts with a pair of steel-toed boots. I don't know if you need to go that far. Go and kick HULKBEARD in the nuts. And also tell yourself to invest in cryptocurrency. 2007, bro. Oh shit, it would have blown up. I'd be like, yeah, I'm buying 10,000 Bitcoin for $1. Ain't gotta do shit no more. But we're getting off track. You're right, we are. This isn't just a story about my failings. It's about HULKBEARD too. His tendency to immediately glom on to anyone who showed even the slightest shred of romantic interest. The subtle ways that he would manipulate me into setting myself up for failure. How he would claim that he saw every breakup coming. And he'd play the role of the understanding friend after the fact. Looking back now, I can't help but wonder if his flirtation was a genuine sign of interest or simply a manifestation of his deeply rooted resentment and spite. Erika and Faye, or that time that I was denser than a black hole. Here we go, bring on the first victims! Erika is quite possibly one of my only partners that HULKBEARD did not creep on, though that may be because we were only together briefly and not in any official way. We'd met at a party earlier that year. We went back to my place where one thing led to another, and the next morning we kinda just decided to make it a regular thing. I told Erika that I wasn't looking for anything serious. At the time, I thought that that was completely true. Erika agreed and said that she was just here for some harmless fun. And then I met Faye. She messaged me on Nexopia and I was floored. I honestly wondered if she was a catfish. What the hell's Nexopia? It's a Canadian social networking site, founded in 2003. Cool, had no idea. Was catfishing a thing back in 2003? I guess it was, maybe we just didn't call it catfishing. I genuinely could not believe that someone as attractive as her was the least bit interested in me. But somehow, she was. At least until she actually got to know me. Whoopsie. Our first date, if you can call it that, was simply the two of us in her room watching Invader Zim. Oh, what a blast from the past. After which I stayed the night. From then on, we were official. Erika, unfortunately, found out secondhand that I was now dating someone. I assured myself that I had meant to tell her. I didn't expect her to find out before we could talk. But the truth is, yeah, those are just empty excuses. You're just trying to keep one of them on the back burner in case the front one falls through. I mean, I have done it before, but it is still a shitty thing to do. Let's be real about that. And I'm proud of OP for looking his monsters right in the face and fessing up. The truth is, I was so swept up with Faye that I sort of just forgot all about Erika. Oh, goddamn, that hurts. Regardless of my intentions, my behavior towards her was incredibly shitty, and I found out the hard way that she hadn't been entirely honest about not wanting to date me. She was pissed and tore into me about how terrible this made her feel and how I should have known that she was actually into me. HULKBEARD agreed. Bro, stay out of it. Fuck yourself, HULKBEARD. Like anybody even needs advice from some fucking neckbeard. Ugh.
You know, I could have told you that Erika liked you,
he had droned.
She's right. You really should have known better. It was obvious that you wanted to be more than friends.
Obvious to everyone but me, as it turns out. Honestly, she's partly at fault for not being honest about it. A good conversation can go a hell of a long way. Just be honest about what you want, you know? While both parties are to blame, at least OP fessed up, you know? I'm sure Erika went on to do the exact same thing only a little while later, and then wondered why it turned out the exact same way. Ugh, just talk. That's all I'm saying. I guess this is a second story. This is cool. It's like a little mini story compilation. I'm into it. The Chivalrous Knight, the Human Doormat, and the Snake. Ooh, I wonder who's who. HULKBEARD and Faye first met when he invited himself to one of our hangout dates. Ugh. What? Obviously, I didn't really want him there, but back then, in addition to being a walking social faux pas, I also had a spine with the approximate consistency of pudding. Oh, so OP's the Human Doormat. That would have been my guess. So HULKBEARD's the Knight and Faye is the Snake. It's gonna be interesting. Maybe HULKBEARD's the Knight and the Snake. I just had no idea how to stand up for myself. The mere concept of confrontation was genuinely terrifying to me, and HULKBEARD knew it. So instead of flat out telling him no, I gritted my teeth and said, "It was fine." I'll say it again. A good conversation goes a long way. Just be honest. We started off the night by watching a movie. Faye and I were both somewhat irritated that HULKBEARD had just decided to third wheel us. I'd assumed that he just wanted to hang out, and it simply hadn't occurred to him that this was supposed to be a date. Imagine thinking that a beard ever acts without an ulterior motive. Oh, my sweet summer child. But, like I said, you lived and learned. Now you know. Once the movie had ended, we decided to go for a walk. It was then that HULKBEARD revealed his true intentions in the cringiest manner possible. As we stood up from the couch, he turned to Faye with a smarmy grin plastered on his face.
"I can't get over how cute you are,"
he all but shouted in a babyish voice, eyes locked directly onto her chest. What the fuck? Oh, god damn it, dude. That's about the point where you tell him to leave. Punch him. Do something. Let him know that he has violated the social contract. I'm not sure what put Faye off more. The compliment, the way that HULKBEARD said it, or the fact that he apparently forgot how eyes worked. Likely it was a three-way tie. Thanks, Faye mumbled, taking a step back from the drooling beard and turning to me. Shouldn't we get going before it gets too late? I nodded in silent agreement. The walk was exactly as awkward as you'd expect. HULKBEARD insisted on constantly being close to Faye. He probably would have tried to hold her hand if he thought he could get away with it. Eventually, HULKBEARD got the bright idea to offer Faye his coat. It was late fall, so there was a faint chill in the air.
"It's cold,"
he gurgled, stripping off his jacket as he spoke.
"You look cold. Here, take my coat. I'm fine. I don't even feel the cold."
Yeah, 'cause he got lay as a blubber. I don't want your stinky coat, all right? I'd rather be cold than have to smell like an armpit. I'm all right, Hulkbeard, Faye replied. It's nice out.
No, really, I insist.
Making this too awkward, came his warbling response as he began draping the jacket around her shoulders. Seriously, I'm okay. I like the weather, she snapped, now slightly irritated. Rather than listening to Milady's protests, the goodly knight followed his chivalric code to the letter. He wrapped his more than slightly pungent jacket tightly around her, hands brushing across her shoulders and lingering a few moments longer than was necessary. Again, I said nothing, but instead walked in frustrated silence. Come on, OP, I am waiting for your spine to grow. That's probably the part that I enjoy most about these Neckbeard stories. The OP's finally getting fed up and snapping. But in the first few parts, it's always really, really frustrating. Like, this is about the part where you poke a finger in his chest and say, what the fuck do you think you're doing? You have again violated the social contract. Stop! You violated the law! My relationship with Faye lasted approximately 3 months. It turns out that pushovers aren't great romantic partners, especially when said pushovers have a meltdown over their girlfriend taking a bit longer than usual to respond to a message. Oh, those beardy tendencies popping up again, OP, but at least we know you're better now. We remained friends, at least. Faye, much to her credit, bore me no ill will for my emotional ineptitude. For some reason, she even decided to give me her ball python. Hey, Faye's not the snake. The snake is the snake. Outstanding. What a twist. She told me her options were giving the snake to me or selling it to her new boyfriend. I still don't understand the logic there, but that snake is with me to this day. I recently ordered a custom-made terrarium, in part because my cats keep trying to break into the current one. That's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm not sure who's gonna win, the snake or the cats. If I was Faye, I probably would sell it, take the money and run. And if I was OP, I probably wouldn't have accepted the snake because, snake people. They don't got a good rap lately. But yeah, a couple more good boy points in OP's book because he took that snake and treasured it. Something that I'm sure Hulkbeard would be completely incapable of doing. He'd break that snake on his forehead. Oh, when Faye ended things, Hulkbeard naturally poured on that sympathy. Fake sympathy.
I tried to warn you about her,
He said, taking perhaps a bit too much glee in my heartbreak.
Girls like her only like abusive assholes. She was always gonna get bored of you. You're too nice for someone like her.
Is that sympathy? That's so backhanded. God damn it, it's making me upset. I believed him. That's also making me upset. What reason would he have to lie to me? He was my friend, right? Right? God damn it, dude. Oh, it's gonna get painful before it gets better, I'm sure. Cara. Flash forward 6 months. Another friend made the mistake of taking pity on me and introduced me to her best friend, Cara. I was immediately captivated. With our mutual friend's blessing, we began dating. I don't like thinking of the 2 months that I spent with Cara. I am truly ashamed of how I treated her. Disgusted by how possessive and clingy and emotionally manipulative I was. Cara, if by some twist of fate you are part of the audience, I only have one thing to say. I'm sorry. You deserved better, and I truly hope that you found happiness. Fuck, I love this OP, fessing up for all of his wrongdoings. It might be like a little bit too much self-flagellation for some people, but it's refreshing, honestly. I go on Reddit and I expect humble brag posts everywhere. So yeah, it's a breath of fresh air to see OP fessing up, being honest, taking responsibility for what he did. Nothing will endear me to an OP faster. It takes a long time to learn how to be in a relationship. So again, I do think that you need to give yourself some more credit, you know. I went through this clingy possessiveness when I was, 13 or 14 and just started dating. But if you started dating later, then it makes sense that this is when it's happening, right? I give you a pass on all of it, OP. And not just because you're a patron. I've shit on my patrons before. Lovingly. I've razzed them, I never go balls to the wall with my shit talking. We just poke a little fun. It's fine. I did do one thing differently during my relationship with Cara. I took great pains to keep HULKBEARD as far away from her as possible. Unfortunately, my efforts were all in vain. The distance did little to stop him from lusting after his
fair milady.
If anything, it made him even more obsessed, even more envious of my relationship. He casually drawled one day when we were on our way back from lunch.
I kinda wish we lived in a different time. If we were cavemen, I'd kill you and take Cara for myself.
What the fuck? I mean, I don't have the words either. That's what I was gonna say. Excuse me? I stopped walking in the middle of the intersection. Did he really just say what I thought he did? Had my quote-unquote best friend really just told me that he was willing to murder me out of jealousy? What? This is too wild, dude. After sensing my consternation, HULKBEARD kept talking.
Well, you don't need to worry about that,
he continued with a shrug. Fuck.
There are laws about that kind of thing now. I was just thinking out loud about how lucky you are.
What the hell? Holy shit, dude. Good people don't need laws to keep them good, okay? It's like that shopping cart test. If somebody puts a shopping cart away, then they're a good person. If they leave it in the fucking parking lot, they're a bad person. Because there's no law that tells you have to put the shopping cart back. It's just kind of a litmus test. HULKBEARD is the type to not just leave his shopping cart in the parking lot, but pull other shopping carts out of the fucking little corral and push them out into the parking lot. He's horrible. How could you not, completely run away at this point? You're still trusting him in your house after he alluded to murdering you? I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time getting over that shit. Oh, law is the only thing stopping him from committing multiple felonies. Well, I guess that makes it all better then. Dying. This is so outlandish. Far too wild. What is happening? We walked the rest of the way home in complete silence. When Cara finally started working up the courage to break up with me, HULKBEARD donned his understanding friend mask, transforming from the Knight of the Dew to supportive confidant with practiced ease. As with Faye, he claimed to have
known all along that Cara wasn't right for me.
And as with Faye, I failed to see through his ruse.
I told you, dude, you shouldn't date someone like her,
he said, a sage expression upon his greasy face.
Antidepressants seriously mess a person up. And she was too unstable for a relationship. You really should have expected this to happen.
That's right, friends. HULKBEARD, who himself took medication for ADD, blamed the breakup on Cara's mental illness instead of the fact that I, myself, was in desperate fucking need of therapy. And what did I do? How did I, in all my infinite wisdom, respond? Well, of course, once again, I believed him. It's hard to watch. We've had some laughs, we've had some heartbreak, That's why I love these Neckbeard stories so very much. There were other miladies beyond these three, but this tale's already long enough. And ultimately, it was the same song and dance every single time. HULKBEARD would creep and obsess and drool over whoever I was dating, and then when I predictably made my own relationship self-destruct, he would claim that
he had seen it coming,
and assure me that
I'd done nothing wrong. They were all just crazy bitches. I was a poor, helpless, nice guy.
oh boy, I don't think that word had the same connotation in 2007. But now, again, hindsight's 2020. Now we really know what that means. And also, OP really wants someone to invent time travel. Wouldn't that be nice? Afterword. I honestly don't know why I stayed friends with HULKBEARD for as long as I did. My deep fear of abandonment? A desperate need, perhaps, to cling for dear life to one of the first real friendships that I'd ever formed. Maybe it was a complete and utter lack of self-awareness, self-esteem, and common sense. I think very likely that it was all of the above, OP, but that's okay because we're bigger and better now, ain't we? I recognize now that my friendship with HULKBEARD was extremely unhealthy. His behavior fed into my own toxic traits, amplifying them to the point that I skirted the razor's edge of beardery. As I said, we all crossed that bridge. It still disturbs me how dangerously close I came to being the subject of a Neckbeard story, rather than the author of one. Thankfully, all that didn't happen, but what was it that eventually caused me to break free of HULKBEARD's insipid influence? How did I finally put the not-so-incredible Hulk to rest? Well, it all started with Dungeons and Dragons. But we will have to get into that in the next episode. Yes, indeed, HULKBEARD, quite a character. OP really just out here showcasing the duality of man. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, I'm super possessive of my girlfriend, but also you seem to let this beard kind of walk all over you and do whatever he wants. I would be really interested to get a size comparison between OP and HULKBEARD. Like, was this dude bigger than you and physically intimidating you, or was your spine legitimately made of jello at this point? Either way, I will be more than glad to watch OP come into his own and give this beard the old what for. I cauliflowered his ear. Bully! Definitely a wild ride, and I appreciate OP's introspection. You know, that's probably what I like the most about this post, because honestly, a lot of us were there at one point or another. I hope that you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, I hope that you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. Maybe share it around. That is like the biggest brain MVP play that you can make. We also got some stuff in the descriptions, you know, all kinds of plugs. Teespring, the vlog channel that me and my wife run. My Amazon affiliate link if you want to kick me back some cash from your Amazon purchases. Podcasts, if you're looking for some portable ear candy. Playlists, if you're looking for a different flavor from the channel. My God, we got so much going on. There's also my social medias where you can keep up on what I'm up to. You know, we got that Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Oh, and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons over on Patreon. I would like to thank them as I do every video. At least I'll thank them this way until the song that I'm working on is done. But hopefully it won't take too much longer. I get mixed reviews about this, but I gotta do it quick. So thank you very much.
Robert Waits, River, TSM Kirby, USMC, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Cinnamon Susie, Fire Drag, Latin, Liverson, Mr. Anime Mega Fan, Silent Revolvers, Aaron W, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Station, Bitch Gremlin, Captain Clown Jerry. God. The OP from our story has turned into a Jerry. Well, I thank you times 3 for today. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of thanks. Cherish Kitsune, Commander A-Tank, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Diggy, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, A Pimp Named J. Crisp, JM Coon, the original Jerry! John Hero, Simbufa, because if you're boofing, it's free, Kira M, Kitsukin, Miss Monday, Lexi Loves Jojo, Lord Lionel, Lori Ellis, Marble Jerry, tastes great, less filling. Jackets Rule, Vanilla Mel, Melgar the Destroyer, Mirthful Baker, Mr. J has become Mr. Jerry! Psych. I mean, not really psyched because it's there. But boy, that one, Nick. Natari, Lady Nick's Origami Steve, Phantom of the Pines, Kitty Kids Elizabeth, Sidestep, Puggy, Redwind, Roustower, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ass, Satori, Staples, Yeet, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca, Boogaloo, Tato Fair, That Duck and Bug, The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmax, yet another different Jerry! Zero Blacktail, a normal Joe, a different Jerry, a different Jerry, yet another new different Jerry. He is new. Welcome to the fold. Thank you very much. Amara, A-Roxers, Banished Knight, Barbushka's Radiated Jam, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry. God, the dude has become a meme in his own right, and I'm living for it. California Keto Girl, Chris Meska, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, Defon, Ghost of Alpha, Goose Says Honk, John Indoors, KJW, Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, Mark 211, Maybe Next Time, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Naga Viper, Organic Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptor Art, Saints Blessing, Spoonie the Rogue, Steampunk Ellie, The Last Shinobi, The Necrobomicon, and Token Black Kid.
Hey, God. Thank you guys so much. So many Jerrys. So many patrons. I am living for it, you guys. I really do appreciate it. You are making my dreams come true, quite literally. 1 year ago, I would have never imagined that it could be what it is. So all I can really say is thank you so much. I do hope some other people will consider signing up on the Patreon, but if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. As I say sometimes, I only really want money from people who ain't gonna miss it, you know? What's most important is that you came on through, clicked the video, hung out with me today, especially if you're listening up to this point, dang-o. And I do hope, sincerely, that you will come back and do the same thing again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like, watching some more ReddX videos. If you want, I hope you do. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, bye-bye.